And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is time for your favorite charity-based show, A Mile in Your Shoes, with your host, Wedge Stevens. Oh, you're too kind. Oh, we didn't run. Oh, you're too kind as your enthusiasm is going on way too long. Thank you for that extended time. I can't even talk today. Like, I woke up and I was all like, I had bad dreams last night. Do you guys ever have those dreams like the world's on fire or something? I keep having the dream that the moon's exploding. Like, what would happen if the moon actually exploded? I'm very careful. Don't be hitting that button. I see you in North Korea. Don't be doing that. Don't explode the moon. We need it for waves and marine animals and things like that. So don't you do it over there. Anyway, welcome to another great day of A Mile in Your Shoes. I am your host, Wedge Stevens. We are 2 shows in a week. What? This is growing. This is so happy. I'm just can't. Yeah, baby. Again, I can't talk. I think what it is I haven't made out with someone in so long. My virginity has grown completely back, and therefore I'm convoozled. That's what it is. I think that's what it is. I can't think what else it would be. I had a breakfast. I drank some fluids. I'm perfectly hydrated. It has to be the lack of making out or lack of chocolate. It could be lack of chocolate. Yeah, we'll go with that. I need to eat a Mr. Goodbar. Am I allowed to say? I think I can say that, Mr. Goodbar. I don't know. Does anyone ever like go, I can't wait to have a Mr. Goodbar and all that? Like, I know there's some people out there who like Mounds and the candy bar too. See, I'm extra like worked up or something today. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, we got a great show today. And that being said, if you want to be on said show, just to say this person communicated, there's all the information. You can give the phone number at 319-241-5319, wedgestevens@gmail.com, Mile in Your Shoes. Find us on the Tweety at Hey Sexy Ogre, which no one has used yet, but that's all right. I don't judge you. I mean, if I didn't live in this body, I probably wouldn't do it either. So whatever, it's fine. We've gone on for 2.5 minutes. That's it. 2.5. I feel like we've been going for a lot longer than that. I'm thinking about doing stand-up on tomorrow night. What? I know. I don't know how funny I am. I guess we're going to find out live and in person because we're trying to shoot for the big show in November. So got to get practicing now. Steve Byrne, I'll never be. I could have been Shrek, though, if Mike Myers wouldn't have beat me to it. What can you do? All right. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and move forward because I didn't prepare as always. Do I ever prepare? No. Preparing and all that's for ding-dongs and whatever. Unless you're reading a book by Napoleon Hill, it talks about creative planning and all of that. If you have not read Think and Grow Rich, you probably should read that. And then you could think and grow mediocre like I've done so far, which after tonight changes. Tonight I'm a multimillionaire. Sure, it could happen. Why not? Dream big, right? That's right. All right, so my guest, I actually do not know personally. We've met one time before this, and I'm very fascinated to hear what's going to be said. Please welcome my new friend, Trinity Brown. I like the WWE pose. Do you smell what Trinity's cooking?
Do you smell what Crackerton's cooking?
Crackerton? What's Crackerton?
Crackerton is the last name of my high-class white trash name.
High-class white trash.
High-class white trash. Kingsford Crackerton.
What makes someone high-class white trash?
A little bit above the bottom, I guess.
Okay. Where would Kid Rock fall into the high-class white trash? Is he high-class? Or
he is definitely high-class.
He's definitely high. I've met him before.
Really?
Yeah, he was at, and I can prove this, him and John Daly were at Jerry the King Lawler's 50th wrestling anniversary. And I got to meet Kid Rock. He didn't sign nothing for me, but he had a beer in his hand and he like shook my hand. And then John Daly came over and was, talking to obviously he's talking to the hot girls that were in front of me. But yeah, I got to meet Kid Rock. That was pretty awesome. That was in Tennessee. I believe it was Jackson, Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a crazy story. There you go.
Yeah.
Have you had any crazy celebrity meetings that way?
No, not
No.
really. I'm trying to think, and it's like no, I've been all over the place, and it's just kind of been going with it, and it's nothing too big, nothing too important.
Okay. All right. Now, we wanted to talk about a charity before we get too far into it. What charity did you want to talk about?
Be the Wounded Warriors Foundation.
Yeah, very good organization. Can you explain what they do?
They help wounded warriors that have been through trauma, hurt, pain, everything else, and they help them get back to, I guess, the person that they really are, instead of that wounded warrior.
Okay. They do a lot of great work, and
A lot of great work.
Wounded Warrior Project is amazing. So I highly endorse that one. So if you want to make a donation, please check it out, woundedwarriorproject.com, and you can make a donation right through them. Perfect. So I don't know you, so we'll just start at the basics.
Yes, sir.
Where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Hopkins, Iowa.
Okay.
I was born in Cedar Rapids, and since I was born, I've jumped around between states, moving around and enjoying life. And
Moving around by your own accord, or was this kind of
Um,
forced? Or
growing up, it was more forced. I was born in Cedar Rapids, was born with bronchitis, developed pneumonia. I was anemic. We moved to, I think it was Price, Utah. I was in the hospital for a year. Went to LA, lived on the streets for a year in a van.
wow,
Back to Iowa, then parents moved to Texas. Then we moved around Texas for a bit to Florida, moved around there between Sarasota, Bradenton, back to Texas, between, Dallas area, Eastland, De Leon, just small little towns, and then back to Iowa.
sounds like quite the adventure, though. I mean,
Oh, it had, the whole life has been quite an adventure from the beginning.
okay. What's like your favorite aspect of the adventures?
People.
People.
Just meet. There's so many people around this world that are their own person. It's meeting everybody, the aspect of their life, what they've been through, what they're going through, their personalities, and just enjoying that. You don't judge. You don't look at them like, oh, wow. You look at what they've been through, and you can empathize on them, and then you can feel what they've been going through, and it's like you can relate from your own life what they're going through, and hopefully help them through what they're going through.
All right. Or maybe they can help you going through whatever you're going
That's
through.
another big thing. It's being able to take in what they've been through and what they're doing to be able to help your life progress and learn from what you've done.
Okay. So, what was your favorite place to live when you were bouncing around? And why? Why was it your favorite place?
I would say Sarasota, Florida.
Okay. Home of Macho Man Randy Savage, allegedly. He was actually from Ohio.
The Barnum Bailey Circus is out of Sarasota. Well, mainly it's an old retirement community, but you're right there by the beach, so it's like you can go every day. It's just, there's not a lot of bullshit. It's like you just go and enjoy your life, basically.
Okay. And you're right on the beach.
Right on, exactly. You can go out on the boat on Christmas Day, and it's just wonderful. When it's 60, 65 degrees, everybody's in long sleeves and stuff. It's like beautiful.
Right. 65 degrees, man. I'd take that right now.
Yeah.
It's like 150 out there some days.
Oh, the humidity is just ridiculous.
I love the days where you can walk out your back door, and if you're really thirsty, you just take a washcloth and wring it out, and you're going to go a whole glass of water. It's great.
Exactly. It's called rehydration.
the air rehydrates you just by being able to wring out a washcloth.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. So you bounced around. Why were you bouncing around so much?
My parents, they were doing their thing, and my dad grew up in a Navy family, so he was bouncing around a lot. And then his trials and tribulations through life landed us anywhere and everywhere.
Okay.
So it's like we would have to jump, and they would know somebody somewhere, and let's go there. You know, it might be small town Texas, it might be big town Florida, it might be LA, wherever the wind takes them.
You know, it's fascinating because some people would see that as kind of a rough life, and other people would see that as a life of freedom. You know, because, and I always felt like the people who are very poor and the people who are very rich both have one thing very in common, and that is the freedom to do whatever they want. Like I used to work in a bar, and homeless people would come in all the time, and they were just having the best time of their lives. And I'm like, it's a whole different type of freedom.
No, it really is.
But you're free to do whatever you want.
I've even after I graduated high school, I joined the military instantly. I left for basic training 2 weeks after I graduated high school. I wanted to get the hell out of Iowa.
What branch did you go into?
I was in the Army.
All right. Is there another branch? No.
Not really, no. I mean, they are there, but
anyone who's been in the service understands the sibling rivalry between the branches. We all respect and love each other.
That's it.
You also have to make fun of little brother.
Yeah, they're all brothers. Don't matter if they're littler or bigger.
Right. It's like I can pick on you and you can pick on me, but someone outside of a circle, you better shut your mouth.
Yep.
Because we'll both get you.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So you joined the Army.
Yep.
Right out of high school.
Right out of high school, I went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma for basic training.
Okay.
In the middle of the summer.
That had to be fun.
Oh, that was hotter than hell, and just ridiculous. But I started, fast track and getting through everything. I went in with a bad attitude.
I bet they cleaned that right up.
Real fast.
What do you mean you had a bad attitude? What made your attitude bad about it?
I had a problem with authority.
Oh yeah, that's
when I went in, just because the way I was raised and taught, basically. So it's like I went in like, oh, they ain't gonna tell me shit. Well, they did.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that you just got to go with the flow, because in a sense, the world's all about manipulation.
Oh yeah.
It's you got to take what's given to you and flip it around and make what's right for you. So
turn a negative into a positive.
So basic training, I fast tracked. I was one of the few that was promoted during basic. Went to AIT down in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. I mean, not Fort Sill, but Fort Bliss.
Okay.
In El Paso, Texas. And I was there till.
What was your job?
I was 14 Sierra when I went in, which was Avenger crew member, air defense.
Okay.
So, because when I went in, I was like, I want to blow shit up. What do you want to do? I want to blow shit up. They stuck me with air defense.
I wanted to go into EOD.
I tried when I was in Iraq. I tried that one.
I wasn't smart enough. I couldn't. For that job.
Yeah, that's actually the one that I really wanted afterwards. And I really, this is what let's have fun with that. But got stuck with air defense. I think I graduated in the beginning of November from AIT. And by December 3rd, I was in Germany.
Okay, what part of Germany?
I was in Wackernheim at 552 ADA. And it's just a little bitty base. I think it was 20 miles or so from Wiesbaden, from Mainz. And then Wiesbaden was another like 10 miles.
Okay.
So.
What was your, how long did you stay over there?
I was in Germany. I got there in December of 2001. Ended up, I went to Paris for New Year's, which, as an 18-year-old kid, that is amazing. To sit at the top of the Eiffel Tower and just look out was absolutely amazing. We just took a train. It's like 6 o'clock at night, New Year's Eve. jumped on that, got into Paris, walked around all night long, went to the Eiffel Tower, looked in the windows of the Louvre, and just enjoyed the day. And then 4 o'clock, we headed back to the train station and jumped on the train at 6 o'clock, went back to Germany. I went on deployments, Norway, right before the war kicked off, we went to Belgium.
Okay.
We were loading, right when the war kicked off, I guess, we were loading trucks at the ports to go to Iraq.
Okay.
And then we got orders and we left there and back to Germany to deploy to Iraq.
So what was like the cultural differences that you noticed from being an American going over to Germany?
The freedom.
What do you mean?
Like nudity, you just
Lots
the
of nudity.
freedom. It's like your daytime soap operas have nudity on them. You can see people laying out on the beach right off the road, sunbathing, and nobody cares. You can walk around, you can go on the bus with a beer, no problem, as long as you aren't getting rowdy and being messed up.
Right.
You know, it's just, there's that little bit that they basically just don't care. I mean, there's a limit to everything,
Right.
but if you can stay under that, it's just fabulous. It's and the people were just so nice for the most part.
I noticed that too. Like, I mean, I was there at a different age than when you were in Germany, but I always remember everyone was so kind.
Yeah.
I don't remember any problems at all. That way.
No, they might not speak hardly any English. You can't speak any German, but they're gonna do what they can to help you with what you need.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you have your people that just, you know, they hate Americans. My first wife was German.
Oh, wow.
And like her stepdad was not a fan of Americans. Her mom didn't speak English really. Her stepdad didn't speak any English. But he ended up, I guess, connecting with me and understanding. And, you know, we had no problems. You know, and her real dad lived in France, was married to an Irish woman, had kids, you know, so, you know, I got along with him great, but it's some of those Germans, they just don't accept the outside. You know, I mean, just like a lot of Americans.
You're about to say, yeah, Americans are very much the same way.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
But the thing is that you got to prove, I hate using the word prove, but you got to show, you know, who you are and what you are, and they either going to accept it or they're not.
right.
You know, it don't matter how much you hate one culture. It's all about proving.
Okay. What did you feel about the food over there?
Oh, I loved it. The food was amazing.
It ruins you, doesn't
Oh
it?
God, when I was in this little bitty bar restaurant that was in this little town I was in, Wackernheim. It was the Wackernheim Hof, and I would go in there 2-3 times a week, get the Ram Schnitzel. Oh, it was just amazing.
I remember the brats. They're so different over there compared to what we have here.
100%.
Night and day different. And now it's like you eat a brat here and you're like, I mean, I get your point, but I still want those over there.
It's growing up, I didn't care for like brats and stuff like that. They were just so greasy, and it would mess my stomach up. And then you go over there, and it's like you take a bite of a brat, and it's like, oh God, this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You get a brat with a Hefeweizen, and it's heaven.
I mean, I was 6, so I never got to have the Hefeweizen. I got Kinder beer.
I have never heard of Kinder beer.
Never?
No.
They had Kinder beer.
No shit.
Yeah, it's like an O'Doul's. It's like beer for kids.
Wow.
They get it stuck on them early. Absolutely.
Well, it's like, you know, once you're at the bar and you're talking to this chick, and you got to ask them their age.
Yeah.
because it's like you can drink beer at 16 at the bar, and you're drinking, and it's like you can't take a 16-year-old on base.
No.
So it's like you're sitting there talking, you're like, how old are you? Because looks wise, you can't tell.
Right.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah. I mean, plus you got beer goggles on, so
That
you should always double check.
Yeah.
You should always double check. That's how I developed the rule that if I'm drinking, I don't sleep with no one because my beer goggles get too strong.
We'll see
Which
that.
is why I stopped drinking.
Well,
I stopped sleeping with people too. But that's a whole nother issue.
See, that's the problem when you wake up in the morning after a night of drinking, you go, oh, shit. And then you're riding a fucking train 2 hours back to your base, and they can't speak no English. You're going, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that way too well.
Yeah. Too many experiences like that, huh?
You know what, though? They make great stories, though.
They do make good stories.
I mean, in the moment, it's like, oh, shit. What are we doing?
Looking back, it was a good time.
Exactly.
All right. What else did you experience in Germany, like recreation-wise?
The whorehouses.
Okay. Well, I'm not necessarily.
I mean, if you want to know about experience,
so were they easy to find, the whorehouses?
They're everywhere.
Oh my goodness.
They're everywhere.
Again, I was 6 when I was over there, so I don't have those experiences.
Yeah. I mean, no matter where you go, they're everywhere. It's like we would ride the bus from Wackenheim into Mainz, and they would drop us off at the Bahnhof, which is the train station.
Okay.
Right across the street was Das Crazy, which was Lady of the Night's house.
All right.
And it's like a hotel. You walk in the door, you don't touch it, you kick it in, and you walk in, you go up the stairs, you walk down a hallway, and you got women just sitting. It's like a hotel, door, and women just sitting out on a stool in lingerie or whatever. You got every ethnicity of women, you got every size of women, every color of woman, whatever you want, and you just go through and you pick what you want. When I first got to Germany, it was still a Deutschmark.
Okay.
And it was 50 Deutschmark, which came out to about $23.50. I mean, you can't really beat that. You can't go to the bar and find a woman and pay $23.50 and have a good time because you're buying drink after drink and trying to, no. You go in there, you pick it, you have your fun. A lot of times they would set a 15-minute time limit, a little egg timer.
15 minutes?
15 minutes.
What kind of shenanigans? I can't even, get the self-confidence to get naked in 15 minutes.
Oh, that's not a problem.
That is for me. Anyway, so you had these experiences there. Did you experience any of obviously we have different experiences. Did you spend Christmas over there?
Yes.
Okay. What did you notice that was different between Christmas here and Christmas there, besides the fact that it's on December the 5th?
It's not really celebrated like we celebrate it here, for one. And then in Mainz, they always have, what the hell is that called? They have like a big celebration basically for Christmas, and they'd have all these different booths and stuff like a fair would have almost.
Right.
But it was, they're basically Christmas festival.
I remember walking through the streets of the villages, and every so often you'd see a St. Nicholas, and you could give him 5 marks or whatever, and he'd give you a toy. I remember that as a kid, and he had different wrapping paper depending on if you were a boy or a girl, depending on what wrapping paper he got. One of my favorite ones I ever got that way was this rolled up soccer field that had the goalie had 2 buttons, and depending which way you push it, he'd go one way or the other. And then the little guys had little buttons on their head, and they would kick the ball. And it was this little plastic soccer ball, and I had so much fun with it. My friends and I were just like, this was crazy. It was they start instilling Soccer to them is what football is to
Oh,
us.
exactly,
not
exactly.
bigger.
It's I think it's a lot bigger, honestly.
Oh yeah.
The,
Everyone thinks that Madden is the best-selling game that EA makes, and it's actually FIFA. FIFA outsells everything.
Yep. Yeah, because Madden in the States, yes, of course.
Right.
But FIFA is worldwide.
Oh, 100%. And when I was there, I played football, soccer, and we went off base to play the German teams. We were the only team to beat the German team that we played. Everyone else lost the German squad.
No shit.
Our,
That's an accomplishment.
I had nothing to do with it, but well, that's not true. I played, but I don't. But we did beat them 3-2.
Nice.
Yeah, and 6-year-old in soccer.
That's an accomplishment.
I guess.
Definitely.
So Christmas over there is a little different.
Definitely.
Did you put your shoe out to get stuff put into it?
No.
No, you didn't do
No.
that.
For the most part, for Christmas, I was on base, living in housing,
Right.
so it's like
Chasing the women, I get it.
that's we didn't really accept the German rules, laws, path, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
So the biggest thing I can remember about like Christmas time was walking through the Christmas festivals and drinking Glühwein.
I don't know what Luvine is.
If I'm not mistaken, it is like a warm wine.
Okay.
And then you get the Glühwein ice, and that's a shot of liquor in the wine.
All right.
And you could just walk around and you're drinking that, and it's nice and warm, keeps you just right where you need to be.
All right. I have a problem with staying right where I need to be. That's just why I don't do it anymore.
I would definitely agree with that. That is a big problem, and it's like I try to say, okay, this is the line, this is where we're at, but I'm usually on that line, jumping on and bouncing off of it.
Right. Was that something that you developed in Germany, or was that something you've struggled with beforehand?
That's been my whole life.
The drinking and all of that.
When I was at a very young age, I developed a taste for alcohol, and my father, I will definitely say, helped me with that.
Yeah.
It's something that I grew to hate as an adult for a while, but it's life and it's the learning experience from it and what you take out of it.
Right.
So me and my father, we didn't talk for probably 4 years, just because I had quit drinking at that time. I was living in Cali, growing pot, and just enjoying myself and trying to learn me.
Right.
And I don't remember exactly what I told him. He was a drunken idiot, fool, whatever. And we had a falling out, didn't talk for probably 4 years. And now he's my best friend.
All right, so now we're jumping all over the place. What took it to heal that relationship? Obviously, there was some kind of traumatic experience that broke it, but what?
We had our falling out, and we didn't talk for years. He was working for Bard, and they were, I think, up in Wisconsin or something. And I guess guy that he worked with, they were talking, and he said he hadn't talked to me for years. And the guy was like, "Why not? Why haven't you?" He's like, "You need to call him." And I remember I was living in northern Cali in Lake County, the most beautiful place in the world to me. The largest freshwater lake in California, one of the oldest in the world, sitting on an active volcano, completely surrounded by mountains. Just absolutely wonderful. And I had bought a trailer. In my backyard was the mountain, and I was a block from the lake.
There you go.
Yeah, I would go down and watch the sunset every night and just reflect on the day and prepare for the next. I remember I was in my front yard And I heard my phone ring, pulled it out, and it showed my dad. Shit. Why is he calling? And if he was calling me, I thought it was, we better answer this one. So I answered it, and he's pretty much how you doing, and told me the story of why he's calling, and it was, I guess, a bit emotional, knowing that it was that little thing that he said, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna break this distance, and we're gonna pull it, bring it back in, and we talked for hours, and we just let everything go. There's no sense in all the anger and hostility. Everybody is the way they are, and you can't change them. And in a sense, you really can't be mad at them for the way they are, because the way they are is through what they went through throughout their life.
Right.
And honestly, love and compassion and empathy are, I think, the three things that can break every barrier.
Oh, 100%.
And at that moment, we both had all three. And now, today, like I said, he's my best friend. I talk to my little sister almost daily. But I talk to my dad double of what I talk to my sister.
Wow.
And
that's awesome that relationship was able to be healed and brought back
definitely,
together.
It's quite amazing. It's his views and my views 100% different.
Right.
But the thing is, now he's learned to accept me for who I am, and I've learned to accept him for who he is. And we've moved on, because we can't appease everybody all the time. But we can we can accept the way they are, because what are we gonna do? Say you can't be like this, you're gonna do this? No. Okay, you can put your beliefs out there. You can't force them on anybody. Once you start forcing beliefs,
right,
they're gonna push back. You got to accept their beliefs, and hopefully they can accept yours, and you can tell them yours, and they can take something out of it, or they won't.
Right.
One of the two.
So you were stationed in Germany for 3 years.
Yes.
Okay. Then you went to Norway.
So while I went to Norway, I got to Germany, like I said, in December. I think it was December 3rd of 2001.
Okay.
I think February of 2002, I went to Norway for a NATO exercise. Spent 30 days up there.
How was that?
Oh, that country is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The women are beautiful. I don't think I saw an ugly woman in that country.
Okay.
The people were just nice, wonderful.
Former Vikings.
Their music, it's like you go into the music stores in there, they've got shit you've never heard of, but it's just like, wow. Just going up in the mountains covered in snow. We went put little snowshoes on and trotted up in the mountains when we had nothing to do one day. Just went toboggan. And it's the views. It's absolutely amazing. I was on my Avenger, which is a Humvee with a turret on the back, and there's 2 missile pods on each side with 4 missiles. And there's 50 cal. And we sat out on this mountain, just looking over this water for 3 days. And it's like I was tracking with the flare, watching the whales swim through there. Was absolutely amazing. The Norwegian people were coming out, giving us food, stuff to drink, and they were just so friendly.
That's awesome.
That was quite an amazing fucking experience.
What was the biggest difference between Germany and Norway that you witnessed?
I would say the beauty. Just
Okay.
the tranquility
The
of
majesticness of
Yes.
everything.
It's just sitting up in those mountains and just the peacefulness, looking out over, other mountains, the water, everything else. It was just so peaceful. It was really tranquil.
Okay. So from there, you also go to Belgium.
Yes. So I went to, I don't remember if it was in February of '03 or it might have been March of '03. Maybe right before the war kicked off, the Iraqi war, or right after it, I don't really remember. So we went up to Belgium to work the ports.
Okay.
So we were loading vehicles that were coming on Railhead and other boats onto ships that were going to Iraq. And I think I was there for 3 weeks, maybe 4. And then we got orders to go to Iraq. So they're like, you got to go back. So we went back to Germany and prepared to get ready for Iraq.
So what was Belgium like for you, besides being afraid of Jean-Claude Van Damme, the muscles from Brussels?
I didn't really get to experience Belgium very well.
Okay, because you're just
We were
stuck on the docks.
where we were staying. When we would bus to the ports, we were on like tour buses, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
We had to have all the windows, all the blinds closed and everything because there was a lot of protests and everything else going because of it. So the only thing I really got to experience about Belgium was the food.
Okay.
Some of it was pretty good, and some of it fucking sucked.
Stoofvlees, right? Is that where Stoofvlees is Belgium?
I'm not
It's a
positive
stew,
on that.
if I remember correctly.
So, and that was the biggest thing. Mostly all we did was...
So what food sucked? We're like, wait a minute.
I can't even tell you what they're called, what it's all
Right.
called. I just know that it wasn't the tastiest at all to me. But you know what, though? It's food.
Oh,
you
yeah.
gotta eat it. It's like, what are you gonna do? Say, I don't like this. I ain't gonna eat it. No, fuck that. You're gonna eat it.
You're gonna eat. So one thing about the military, man, you eat when you're fed.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're not getting another shot at it.
Yep. And that food is fuel.
Right.
You need that. You know what you can say, I'm gonna eat. Then all of a sudden 2 hours later you're going, I'm hungry. All of a sudden you get lightheaded. You can't think right. No. You're gonna eat every damn thing you can.
And that's why I think the MREs taste so bad, is so that you get used to eating the
I am such a big fan of MREs.
Well,
I am not gonna lie.
Oh no, hang on. There are good ones and there are bad ones.
I'll eat them all.
Really?
I'll eat them all. I don't care.
What was the one
The bean burrito really sucked. But you know what though? If that's what you got, that's what
That's
you're
what
gonna
you
eat.
got to eat. You're gonna eat it. 100%.
But even after I got out of the military, it's like I had a lady friend who did soup kitchen and stuff, and she got pallets and stuff of MREs, and I would get boxes of them, and I would sit there for days and just eat MREs. You know what? You get your calorie intake.
Oh yeah.
You get every fucking thing you need, and they're cheap. And that's the big thing. It's like, you don't have to worry about buying all this other stuff. You know what? Let's just grab an MRE, warm it up. We're good to go. You got your crackers, your peanut butter. You can pour.
Did you ever give an MRE to a date? Were you ever like on a date and give her one?
I can honestly say I never have.
I think that would be an interesting experience to record. Like you take someone on a date and you're going on a picnic, and you're like, what did you pack for our picnic? Did you bring some like sandwiches and some wine? Like, nope. Here's a military grade MRE.
That is now a goal. I will definitely say I'm kind of curious how
I
that
wanna see what
experience
her
would go.
reaction's gonna be.
I do too.
I mean, that really weird wafer cracker they get with that little like pouch of peanut butter with the jelly.
You're chewing on it, and your mouth is so dry you can't even swallow.
I desperately want to do that now. Like I need to
Do
find
that.
a girl who wants to go on a date and have a picnic with an MRE.
That is now a goal.
Oh my god, I so want to do that now.
Lay the crackers up, put the peanut butter on it.
Yes, the freeze dried ice cream.
dump, dump the coffee and everything in a cup and stir it up. Here you go.
It's still like swirling. You're like, what is this? It's coffee. No, that is like poop in a cup. What is that?
Yeah, I don't think I ever put MRE coffee in a cup.
No?
No. You take the coffee, you open it up, you dump the creamer in it, you dump the sugar in it, you dump it in your mouth, put a little water in there, you just shake it around, and you just swallow it.
Oh, no. That sounds awful. Did you guys have the ones with the sulfur packs? Where you had to put the water in and drop it in there?
Yep.
And that smell, I can still smell it to this day.
Yes.
That's a very distinct smell.
Yeah. Oh, it's, you know what, though? You know, once that thing's boiling and steaming, you're like, oh, it's going to be great. The beef stew.
Mine never cooked thoroughly. Like, it would be parts.
You got to flip. That's the thing. It's not just like letting it necessarily sit there. You got to put it at the right angle. You got to let it really get in that saw, and then you got to flip it.
Is that what I did wrong? Because it was like I'd have a really hot spot in the bottom, and then like this spot was really cold, and then this spot was warm, and this was okay. And
yeah, no, you got to flip it over after a few minutes and get that other side.
yeah. The Kung Pao chicken made me sick every time I ate it.
Yeah.
That was awful.
Yeah, what was the one I really enjoyed? What was it? It was a beef and noodle. I can't remember exactly what it was, but when I was in Iraq, we'd sit there and we'd cook ramen noodles on the heater in the wintertime and just mix everything together. Just absolutely fabulous.
No, I mean, I know in Iraq, if you got eggs, you could make an omelet on your truck.
We could
Crack it open and just drop it right there on the truck, and it just cooked.
Yeah. Oh, we would sit there and cut like liter 1 bottles open, put our ramen noodles in there, and just set it on the hood of the truck. Come back a little while later, and it's fully cooked. Oh, when we were there, I was escorting General Hernandez. I was rear security for him for a few months, and we were in Dogwood, which is it north? I think it's I don't remember.
Don't be giving away locations. It might be classified.
But it was I think an hour away, and the general, he would always have his meetings in Baghdad at a certain time, so we'd have to leave 5:00 in the morning, and you could have a full frozen bottle of water, liter bottle, and within an hour it's warm. It was just ridiculous. I was driving and I had a soda can blow up on me. I thought an IED went off next to me. Just sitting on the passenger seat, just sitting there, and with it shaking, kind of fizzing up, and it got so hot it blew the whole top off of the soda. And I'm driving, and it's like boo, what the, and it's like you realize what it is, but it was just one of those ones like, damn.
Yeah.
And fireworks do the same damn thing to me today.
Yeah, people don't understand the effects of PTSD and what it can do to your psyche.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of things throughout life, I've developed PTSD from. But then, like the military, I only did one tour in Iraq. I've got friends that within 6 years did 5 tours. I could imagine what that does to them.
Right.
And just with that one, when I left on May 7th of 2003, which was my birthday, the shittiest birthday I've ever had. We had formation at 2:00 in the morning. When we got into Iraq, it was noon on May 8th. They opened that door and you walk off that plane, and it was like a wall of heat just smacked you in the face and said, fuck you. It was 113 degrees at noon on May 8th. It's like, damn.
Right.
When I got back from Iraq, I know at least 2 weeks, if not longer. I don't remember exactly how long. I couldn't even sleep in the bed with my wife at the time. It's like I had to sleep on the couch, lay there all night in silence, going, what's going to happen? Because while you're out there, you hear explosions, gunshots, everything else all night long. That's how you, in a sense, that's how you know everything's okay. And then when you come back, it's quiet. And you go, what's going to happen? And all of a sudden you hear a vehicle and you're like, oh shit. You know, and I probably say 2 weeks that I did not sleep.
Oh yeah, I've heard that from other people. That's like one of the hardest things to transition from is
It really is.
the constant. It'd be like someone who's lived in downtown New York and used to the city hustle and bustle, going out to the country, and that stillness is like it's unsettling.
Very unsettling. And it took a bit to get back to it, and I still don't know if even today I'm fully right with it.
Oh, yeah.
You
That's
know,
what
because
that's
those
why-
thoughts are always there, and you just wonder, you know, and it's like, I'm not a big fan of concerts anymore, not a big fan of crowds, because you walk through a crowd of people, and
Paranoia level goes.
and then you're just kind of looking like this mean, irritated asshole looking around, and people are judging you, and you're wondering what's going to happen, what's going on. And then with all this crap in the world going on, you really don't know.
Right.
And it's very unsettling. It's 4th of July. Worst day of my life anymore. If I'm sitting at fireworks and I see it and I know they're there, we're good. But when people are lighting stuff off around, it's that, I mean, it puts me in a bad spot, but it's only like for a second. And then you're like, oh shit, no, okay, let's bring her back. But it's very unsettling. It's nerve-wracking. And like at night, you're laying there, and then you hear boom, 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 boom. And in a sense, it's, like I said, unnerving, but at the same time, that's when it's calming. You know, if I'm out like driving and I hear boom, it's like oh. But when I'm laying there at night and you hear all that, it's almost enough to put you to sleep.
The things that we don't think about when it comes to things like that, like what service actually means and things like that. What are some of the things that you wish average citizens understood on a deeper level when it comes to military life?
What we go through for this country is the biggest thing. You know, everybody always saying, oh, thank you for your service. And I always tell them, thank you for your support. Because without their support, for one thing, our service don't mean a damn thing.
Right.
But at the same time, what we go through is making the people be able to thank us, because we're doing what we do. We're risking our life to protect their life.
Right.
You know, and I'm so thankful that when we came back from Iraq, it was nothing but joy and thank you and everything else. I couldn't imagine what they went through, like Vietnam and stuff like that. That is,
Oh, yeah.
you know, they went out there, and that was such a different time. The military was so different at that point. You know, but, you know, they did what they had to. They signed, half of them didn't even sign up.
Right.
They were drafted in, you know, which I think they should bring the draft back. But I feel everybody needs a service. Before the service, I was a fuck up. Mm-hmm. Had no cares, no empathy, no nothing. And the military helped change that. You know, growing up, my dad, you know, his dad was retired Navy. So he had that yesterday, and he tried to push that on me, and it's like, yeah, you know what? And I did it because I had to.
Right.
But once I joined the military, I realized what it was really about. The respect, the honor, the dignity. And I feel it really changed me as a person. Because if I wouldn't have went in the military, I had two options. And that was either prison or death with everything I was into, everything I was doing, because I didn't care. No care about anybody else. So going in the military, it changed my perspective on a lot, and I learned. There's some people in the military, they don't learn. They could give a shit. They're just there. Like when I went through basic training, they asked everybody, why did you join? 70% of them said for the college. I feel that's the wrong reason.
Why is that?
If you go in, like the people that are in just for the college, it's not for their duty. It's not for their country. For the most part. I won't say all.
Well, but there's the other side of that though, right? They're willing to serve their country to get a free education.
But are they willing to fight for their country?
Well,
that's where it comes down to me.
People who think that they're ready to fight for their country and they get in the middle of the firefight, break down and don't know what to do. We've seen that happen.
No,
right?
Totally.
So we don't really know what's going to happen with those people until that moment arrives.
So when I was in Iraq, a group of people I know, they were on guard and everything else, and an Iraqi had breached the wall. Mm-hmm. You have all these people who are, from, I want to say like the ghetto, the strong, and they say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. When it comes down to it, they're the first ones to cower.
In your
hide.
Experience.
From what I've seen.
Right.
We had this little guy in our unit, a little short, fat, weird guy. When that wall got breached, everybody else run, hid, and cried. He ran out that door with his gun. Yes, he tripped over the door jamb and fell. But
at least he was trying.
At least, he had the right intention. It's because a lot of people in the military, honestly, aren't there to serve the country. They're there for what it can do for them.
Right.
And
which I don't think is unadmirable. I mean,
not at all. As long as we're not at war.
One of the things I have a problem with the education system that we have set up is through normal means, it takes 4 years to become a registered nurse.
Yep.
4 years. The military will give you a registered nurse certification in 36 weeks. How messed up is that? Like, they took all the pork filler, all of it out, and says, no, we don't need any of that. We're going to teach you. We're going to give you hands-on training.
That's it.
This is what education should be.
Yes.
You should be able to get your college degree in whatever field you're shooting for in under a year. Definitely. And then go in and do hands-on experience.
Well, like the military looks at, we're going to give you what you need to know right away, and you're going to learn the rest at your unit or in the field or whatever. And that's the way it should be. You don't need to go through because all this schooling, what's it really going to do? When your first year of schooling, by the time you're done with your fourth, you're really going to remember what's going on. All
right. And what do you need to know about history of civilization to become a registered nurse? I mean, honestly, are we going to go through medical practices, what they used in Sparta? Is that what we're learning? Like, there's just a lot of it. The education system has become more about money and dollars and cents
that's
than
exactly
actual teaching people what to do in life.
Yeah. Well, and that's one thing I really liked about the way a lot of foreign countries like Germany does. When you get out of high school, there's a couple options you have, and that's it. You're either going to go to school to learn something, you're disabled or retired, whatever the fuck you want to call it, or you're going to go in the military for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I really feel America needs to do that. 2 years in the military will teach most the what they need for life.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I said, when I went in, if I wouldn't have went in, I was screwed. I know that. Going in taught me a lot, and I went in the wrong way, but it's like I picked, you know what, let's go with it, and I went real quick, and I progressed real fast. But then I got to the point where I was just like, yeah, I'm comfortable here, and let's just roll with it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree that some service should be required to a point. I don't want to become that dictator military, militant country and things like that. But I think that there's 4 jobs that everyone should have to do. I feel like you should have to serve in the military just for nothing else than to appreciate what goes into it.
Yeah,
Right.
Well, the camaraderie, the
brotherhood that comes
brotherhood
out of it. Absolutely.
I've got friends all over the world because of the military.
Right.
You know, and it's like, do we talk all the time? No, but when it comes down to it, we still got each other's backs.
Right.
And if anything comes down, we can still talk. We can help each other out, and it really is. I feel something that is needed for life.
Yeah.
Everybody, I feel, is everybody going to take that out of it? No, not at all. You got good, you got bad in everything. People is the same. But I think for the majority, it is what we need as a community. And it's like, I really feel we need to bring the draft back.
I mean, the draft still exists. They just haven't implemented
They
it.
haven't. Oh, I've had friends. They got out of the military, went to Iraq. Got out of the military. Then all of a sudden they're at home for 6 months, and they go, "Oh, you got to report again." What?
Mm-hmm. That's one of the clauses in your contract.
Nope. 8 years.
You get 4 years active and 4 years of recall.
Nope.
So
I did 7 years inactive, and I got a medical discharge. And it was when I hit, because I went in at 18, I got out at 26, 25, 26. And then when I was 34, I started thinking, do I want to go back in? It was like, what am I doing with my life? It's like I felt like that was the chance I wanted, but I would have had to forfeit all my medical that I was getting.
Right.
And then with the tattoos I got there, that was the only thing that stopped me. Otherwise, I'd probably still be in the military right now.
Yeah, they have certain standards for your appearance.
And they're changing every day nowadays.
Well, I mean, you have to.
Because they're losing so many people, because tattoos are so
commonplace.
So it's like they just put stipulations. Okay, they could be this big in this place, and you're good. And I was just reading here recently where they changed it again. Where I don't remember. I think you can even get them on more on the front of your neck now, and everything else is because when I was in, you couldn't have them past. You
had to be able to be covered by your blouse.
Yep. When you're in dress, nothing can be seen.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got out, I started getting.
Oh, 100. I mean.
Which I had.
Hello.
I was my arms. I had my arms covered while I was in and stuff. And my sergeant major used to give me all kinds of crap because I rode a Harley, and he's like, "You're just a computer geek, Harley riding nerd, whatever you want to call it." And then when I got out, it's like I just went nuts because I went from high school to having all that control to going in the military with all that control, and then all of a sudden. Was right before I got out, a month before I turned 26. And I was like,
floundered a bit.
Nobody? And it's like I just went kind of nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And then, once I got in the military, I started going through kind of a little trial and tribulation, DUI, getting in trouble, got the hell back out of Iowa. Went back to Texas and just working in a tattoo shop, doing piercings, a graphic shop, and just living my life and just enjoying it.
So what is it you want to do now? Like, what is your passion?
So right now it's I consider myself a freelance graphic artist.
Okay.
I'll design stuff on the computer. I got a vinyl plotter, a sublimation plotter, a screen printer, and it's so I can pretty much do all kinds of graphics, vinyls, all that stuff. And then I make custom pieces for people. So somebody will show me an idea or tell me of an idea. Like, okay, and I will just make it. Don't matter if it's out of wood, it's out of glass, or whatever it is. It's I don't feel there's a medium that I can't do or won't do, because it's all a challenge. And it's like when somebody says, I want this, and they try to tell me their vision, I do the best I can to represent their vision for them, because that joy of seeing their face when they have an idea and you present it to them and they go, wow, that just tickles my heart.
Right.
And
That's one of the best feelings in the world, when you give someone a gift and they just melt over it.
yeah. Well, the problem is, when I do it, I never do it for money, which I should. I got pieces I could sell for $400 or $500 that I will do for free, just for the joy in somebody's eyes. And it kills my business, but it warms my heart at the same time.
Right.
It's like, I love seeing the joy in people. It's like I've been down, I've been out, and for me to be able to make people smile, laugh, you never know if they're having a bad day. All of a sudden they smile and laugh, and you just made their day better.
Yeah.
Last weekend was Jones County Fair. One of my friends is like, you want to come help me park cars? Sure. I went out there in an American flag Speedo.
Excuse me, what?
American flag Speedo.
Just a Speedo.
Just a Speedo.
Okay.
A fast at parking lot filled up, or her backyard. I mean, people came up and took pictures with me and just were laughing. People were going by honking and hollering. To me, that is where it, and
That's great.
and when we first started, I went out, I chugged a beer and, stripped it. Everybody's like, how drunk are you? I was like, that was my first beer. It's not about having to be drunk or messed up to be able to do that. If I really think about it, no. It's like everybody's like, I wish I had your confidence. What confidence are you talking about? I don't have confidence. I just don't give a fuck.
Right.
And then when I go out there with that not giving a fuck and seeing people's joy, smiles, and everything else makes it all 100% worth it. And I was out there for hours.
All right. That's bravery.
I don't know if it's called bravery.
It's bravery.
I went skydiving in the same Speedo.
Okay. I've never had the desire to do skydiving.
Absolutely freeing. Probably the best moment in my life.
Skydiving.
Yeah. And then bungee jumping was kind of where it was at when I first, went bungee jumping. It's just that freedom when you're falling. It's just, but skydiving tops it all.
I would be tempted to potentially do a ranger jump, where you just hook your parachute and you just jump, and as the plane opens it for you. That I might be able to do.
Oh, I've gone twice. First time, I think we were at 12,000 feet. And the coolest part about that, I mean, I get along with my parents and everything, but I've never had that real close connection with them. Mm-hmm. But they both went skydiving with me. So I got to watch my mom and my dad jump out of the plane with me. And then I went out, and it was, to me, it was the best experience of my life. And I got to experience that with both my parents, and that in a sense, also brought us closer to me.
Right.
But, you come out of the plane and we would just flip. And then we were tracking across the sky, probably, he said we were going probably 100 miles an hour. And you just tuck in and just shoot across that sky. And then you just swing around. And once they pull that chute, I'm not a big fan of that. When they was moving around, spinning around, I thought I was going to puke on them. But that free fall is complete where it's at. It really changed my life in a lot of ways.
Because you're letting go of control. You no longer have the power of what's going to happen.
I will say that first jump was the best day of my life. It changed a lot of aspects in my mind. And then the second time I jumped, and my dad jumped with me. I think we were at 18,000 feet. So you got just a little bit more of a free fall.
Right.
And it's just that to me, that free fall is exactly where it's at. Just that you're looking at that ground and you're just going through that sky and there's no cares giving whatsoever.
I would be worried about making it to the ground okay.
Look, when it comes down to it, when you're falling that damn fast, if you don't make it to the ground okay, I mean, you ain't gonna know.
That's not true. You're gonna know.
I mean, I don't know. You're
gonna know. You're gonna know those last 300 meters of like.
You're probably gonna pass. Yeah, I would think you would pass out when you know that's coming. But
I guess there are ways to survive it. It's not likely, but I was reading about people like there are people who have survived it, falling. The parachute didn't open and all that. And the key, I guess, the trick is to try and hit stuff on the way down to try to slow you down
a little bit. Yeah.
And if you can do that successfully, you have a shot, but you're going to break a lot of bones.
Yeah. I would not want to have to go through that though.
No,
not at all.
No. There was the episode of King of the Hill where Peggy falls out of the plane and survives, breaks every bone of in her body. And the next, it's an animated show, but she's in a body cast for.
I can't remember the guy's name. There's the one guy, dove out of the plane with no parachute.
Oh, I know. I saw that.
And he just had a hole in like a roof and just landed basically on a trampoline.
Yeah, there was one guy that did that. I saw that. He broke the world record for a jump without a parachute, and he was trying to hit a net that was, I think, 50 yards wide. Yeah. And you think about that, and that's not a lot. Not a lot of room for wiggle there.
No, not at all.
And his brother-in-law was with him all the way down to 2,500 feet. And I was like, this is insane. And I watched the whole. He did it. He survived. I was like, oh, man. No, I would have peed myself.
Yeah. It's like that German guy who took a capsule up into space.
Yeah.
And then just.
Red Bull helped pay for that.
Yep. And it's like he
almost died.
Yeah, he was tumbling down. He said he kept losing consciousness. And
yeah. He hit that one, he was spinning, and they thought that he was going to die there. And I guess he had a hole in one of his gloves.
Oh, shit.
And that, his finger got really messed up from that.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you watch the video, you'll see him come down, and then you see him just, start to spin. And then all of a sudden, he must have came to and figured out how to.
Yeah, you could tell when you lose because he and then when he landed on that ground, just seeing the way he hit that ground, and then kissed it.
Yeah,
that was it was like I could just actually I couldn't imagine.
Yeah,
what that's like watching it.
You're on the edge of space doing that.
Yeah,
what is wrong with you, man? It's like the people who I'm gonna go swim with sharks. Are you insane? do you understand the force sharks have?
Yep.
They are not something to be trifled with.
Yeah, and I mean I guess it's just not really caring and just being open with what's gonna happen, and that's the biggest thing. Just being able to adjust your mind to knowing what's going to happen is going to happen and you have no control over it.
Yeah, but you cannot put yourself in that situation. See, it's like I have a big phobia of snakes. Well, the way to get around that is you don't put yourself around snakes.
I can honestly, as far as I know, I don't think I have a phobia. I don't think I have anything.
You have nothing you're afraid of. What about death? Are you afraid of death?
We all got to do it.
I know that's the. I don't
And that's
like
the
that
way
part.
I look at it. You know, it's like on a tombstone, you got a beginning date,
You
you
have
got
an
an
end date.
end date. It's not about either one of those. It's about that dash in the middle.
Right.
You know, we all got to die. You know, I was living in Northern California. I was visiting my ex-wife, my second wife, up in Washington.
How many times have you been married?
Just twice.
Twice.
I got at least probably 7 more in me.
Do you?
I mean,
I've been married one time, and I don't know that I have another one in me. Well, mainly because I have 7 cats now, and no woman wants that.
to me, the way I look at it, nothing is gonna. In the end, I don't care if you're married for 40 years and they die. You know, nothing is gonna fully last.
Right.
It's not about it not lasting or it ending. It's about enjoying that time while you're with them.
Right.
You know, so whether, you know, it lasts for 6 months, it lasts for 10 years, for 20 years, you just got to enjoy that time in the moment. But that's harder said than done at times.
Right.
You know, but I was up visiting my second wife in Bremerton, Washington, and my mom called me and told me that my grandpa died. You know, kind of a dick fucking statement, but all I can say is that's what happens when you get old.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's the way I felt. I mean, because I know we all got to die, and I don't want to mourn somebody because they died. If anything, I want to celebrate them.
Right.
You know, celebrate their life because they're moving on to a new life. It's just like when somebody moves, somebody gets a year older, and you celebrate it. You know, so why are you going to why are you going to mourn their death? You know, in a sense, they're always going to be there with you. You're always going to have those memories.
Right.
Even if somebody was to move to Antarctica and you can't talk with them, you know, you're gonna enjoy that time that you had with them and those memories you had. And I feel death is the same way.
There you go. I am not looking forward to it.
I'm-
I enjoy being alive.
I can't say I'm looking forward to it at all,
Right.
but I don't not look at it and go, oh crap, I'm gonna die. You know, and it's like, you know, we're all gonna do that. You know, it's I know that.
For
but,
me, it's the forever part. That's the part that gets me.
and see, like, I don't know where this number came from in my head, but I just feel like I'm gonna live to be at least 93.
Okay.
Whether I will or not, I think I will. That's my number.
I have a goal of 94.
You know,
I need to lose some of this to make that happen.
and I would love to see 100. I really would. But I feel 93, I know for sure I'm going to see that. You know, and then, but it's experiences to that. You know, you got to live life and love it and enjoy it because, and you can walk across the street and get hit by a bus and done like that. And nobody knows when it's their time.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is a nice thing. Could you imagine knowing the day you're going to die and having to, like...
in a sense, I think that would be better than not knowing.
All right. Explain that one.
If you know, okay, you know what? I'm done at this point. You're going to live your life to the fullest before that because you know, hey, you know what? I'm done.
All right.
So not knowing, it's like so many people just live their life day to day, not caring, and just, oh, I got the next day. And then all of a sudden they're, 50, 60,
Time has gone by. Yeah.
50, 60 years old, and they're going, what did I do with my life? Why didn't I do this? So I should have done this. And they got all these regrets and worries. But if you know, hey, you know what? 65, June 13th, I'm done. you're gonna do everything you can to live the best life you
Oh,
could before
100%.
that.
My biggest regret's not going on a date with Maria Thayer. That saddens me. Or not getting a chance to marry Nora Greenwald. Now that she's married, I'm like, that broke my heart. I cry every night over it. Do you have a lot of regrets, or do you try and avoid those?
I do avoid them. The fuck. The only full regret that I can say that I live with day to day was watching my daughter get on a plane and go back to Germany, knowing that that was it.
Yeah.
You know, that's, I mean, because I feel there's something I could have done.
Do you not stay in contact with her now?
I haven't talked to her for a bit, and that's my fault. I'm the asshole for that. But I think when she's 16 now. Last time I saw her, she was 3 years old. Problem, me and the first wife, we split up, and she was from Germany. She'd never been to the States. We moved over here. I was in the military, so we had our issues, and we had a child, and it was one of those. She wanted to go back to Germany to be with her family. Me, as a father, as a man, I felt that a daughter should be with her mother. And she might have been a kind of a shit wife, but she's an amazing mother. And so I said, go. It's like I gave the blood. I could have stopped, because she was born in the United States. I could have said, you ain't taking her.
Right.
I didn't feel that would be right in any aspect. I wanted them to live the best life they could.
Right.
So I paid for a plane ticket back to Germany and go. And I would talk, and my daughter didn't speak any English. When I first got with my first wife, she didn't speak hardly any English, and she got, learned a lot of it. So it's like when I would call, she would have to translate everything. So she kept everything in her control. And then, it's all of a sudden, it's like I would call and no response. I'd write an email, oh, we're busy, we're doing that, and I think it was 2014. I was ready to just pack up and move to Germany and just get a small little apartment so I could be there. And then my first wife was like, I called her and told her that's what my plan was, and she's like, no. She's like, I don't want you to fuck up our happy little family, because she was with the same guy she'd been with for years. Mm-hmm. They had their thing, and now I kind of just, yep, and just cut them off. You know what? You guys have your happy little family, that's fine. And then when I moved back to Iowa a few years ago, I got a hold of my daughter, and she had a lot of hostility towards me. And then we started kind of talking, and I haven't contacted her in a while, which I need to. I really need to.
Right.
But it's,
as long as you both are alive, there's a chance to fix everything.
No, exactly. And it's like, I'm just happy that she has a good life. She could have a shit life like some people, and everything would be horrible, but she's got a good mother. Mm-hmm. The guy, from everything I know that she's with, is good to my daughter. They take care of her. She has a great life. Her family's got money to help, and so there's no worries. And I just want her to have the best life possible.
There you go.
And I will probably, once we leave here, I will probably text her.
It's probably a good plan.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've hit that point in the show where it is time for your moments of gratitude.
Moments of gratitude.
Yeah. So I feel like one of the biggest things, Andrew Carnegie actually said this, that one of the things that is disappointing in life is not the loss of the person, but loss of the knowledge that they take with them and experiences. But one of the things I find very fascinating about our society is we don't say thank you and I appreciate you to people until they're gone. You know, like, how many times do you see it where someone dies and they have a moment of remembrance, but you could have done that same thing while they were alive and let them understand how much you appreciate them. So on this show, we do that. We give you a chance to say a moment of gratitude to someone who is a celebrity, a moment of gratitude to people who are in your life, and give you a chance to say thank you, because honestly, gratitude and love is the only thing that really matters in our lives.
Really is.
That will move you further and faster than anything else. Gratitude and love.
That is very true.
Like when people are sad and depressed, you know what you do? This is the fastest way to get out of depression. You ready for this? Start thinking about what you're grateful for. Start counting your blessings. Start looking at what's good in your life, and your depression just melts away.
Yep.
I know that because I'm a clinically diagnosed manic depressive with many other mental disabilities.
I'm right there with you.
And I do this as soon as I start to feel that bug of, oh, I suck and all that. I say, I'm thankful for my dog. Thankful for my kids. I'm thankful for the love that they provide me. I'm thankful that I have a place to sleep. I'm thankful I got to eat today. And as soon as I get about 8 or 9 in, depression's gone.
Yeah. I've got a friend that I was just talking to the other day. He's got to be 34, 35. Been in prison 5 times already, and just down on himself. I hate myself. Why? You need to love I wish I could follow my own advice all the time.
All right.
But it's like I sat there and the other day I sat there for 2 hours, telling me, he needs to love himself, talking to the chick he's with, trying to help her how to understand him, because she didn't understand him and she was getting mad at him. No, you got to help him. Like I said, the world's about manipulation. It's not, when he gets mad about nothing, why are you going to get mad with him? Because that's going to bring him up here and then higher, and you're both just going to
Spiral, yeah.
Like I told him, I'm like, when he gets like that, just walk up to him, give him a hug and a kiss and say, I love you, and walk away. You don't have to say any more. Just that little bit of love and energy at that moment could spark something in his mind and shift it. Whether it lasts or not, you might have to do that 5 times a day.
Yeah.
But you don't know what to do when you're getting mad and upset, because you don't have to do anything. You just got to give him that love, that understanding. I understand, you're good, no worries.
True.
No.
All right. Moments of gratitude. Who do you want to say thank you to?
There's probably 3 people in my life right now that I'd want to say thank you to. Well, 4 possibly. My little sister, talk to her almost daily. Her and her family are wonderful. She's just like me in a lot of ways. But I can talk to her about anything, and she will give me an honest opinion about it all.
Okay.
And we can just let each other vent and breathe, and no matter how mad, if I can get mad at her, she'll let it go. She gets mad, and we just help each other.
Right.
I'd say my father. We didn't talk for so many years. We didn't get growing up. It's like I used to lay there thinking of ways to fucking slit his throat. I hated that man growing up.
Yeah.
Just because of everything I went through. But as an adult, I learned that what I went through has made me who I am today.
Right.
And now, in his old age, he's just a big fucking teddy bear. And we talk every day, and we'll talk, and all of a sudden it's an hour and a half into it, and I was like, dude, I got shit to do. I gotta go. So my father, honestly, nowadays is a big influence in my life. Once I moved back to Iowa, I moved around this whole country with nobody. It was me. It was just hustling and just doing what I have to do to survive.
Right.
And I moved back here, and it's like I got friends and everything else. But my buddy Shag lived next to me for 2 years. I could call that guy at any time, at any point, and say, I need your help. And it didn't matter what it was with. He was right there. I would go over there every day. Him and his wife would cook me dinner almost every night. They called it Feed a Vet.
Feed a vet.
And I would go over there, and just hang out with him and his family. And probably one of the most honest guys. It don't matter if he thinks he's going to hurt your feelings or not. He's going to be as honest as possible. One of the best dudes that I know. And then the last one would probably be the lady that I just split with.
Okay.
She has probably the greatest energy. I can be a big fucking asshole. And she has a problem with me, but yet we can still talk. We're not together as much as at times I'd probably like it, because I do like her energy. I like being around her.
Right.
But we can still talk, and we can still talk about everything. She accepts me for me, which is hard to find. I've only got like Shag, my buddy Shag. He's one of the few people that can accept me for me, because I'm a really weird individual with my own thoughts, and I don't give a fuck about anybody else. But like my buddy says, when people say that's a weird motherfucker, he's like, yes, but he's the most loyal motherfucker. When it comes down to it, I will do anything and everything for the people I care about,
Right.
no matter what. And with Jackie, she's got her issues, I've got my issues, but she accepts me and I accept her, and it is what it is. But her energy is so fucking amazing. It's like, because I'm up here a lot, and she was able to keep me here most of the time. But then I guess once you get comfortable in a situation, it changes a lot.
Right.
So it's like once you get comfortable, feelings, all that other bullshit, it's easy to go from here and controlling yourself with no issue to all of a sudden going here and going, fuck, what did I do?
Right.
Why? So it's like we had a kind of a big falling out about a week ago again for like the third time. And her dad, he's 82 years old, lives up in, I think, La Crosse, if I'm not mistaken. But he's a recovering alcoholic of 50 years, just the most amazing gentleman you will ever meet. I could sit down, like I said, definitely with older people, they judge the hell out of me. Just because the way I am, I say what I say, I look the way I look. There was no judgment with him, and we just sat there. We could sit there and just talk about anything, everything. I could talk to him, about drinking, about life, about anger, and he would give me his honest opinion. And it was something that really resonated in me, just the way he could say it. And it helped a lot in the way I was. And he 2 days ago, he got flown to Iowa City with a bunch of problems, and he had bleeding in the brain and all this stuff. And I had to talk to Jackie in like a week. For some reason, I just felt like I had to call her. So I called her, and I'm surprised as hell that she answered. She did, and I was like, I just want to say hi. And then she told me, well, my dad just got flown tonight to Iowa City. So we talked for a little bit last night, and we talked for a bit. And then, night before, I guess it was. And then last night, she called me. 11 o'clock at night, we sat on the phone till I think it was 4:30 talking.
There you go.
And I just feel like I have that connection with her, and it's like, very, very grateful that she has been a presence in my life. And I hope that she'll stay a presence in my life.
I hope so for you too. I can tell you care about her.
Definitely.
Awesome. All right. So I want to just give a shout out to my brother who adopted brother. His dad just passed away. So he has that going on for him. So Floyd, I'm thinking of you and I love you and gonna get you on here soon. And then of course, without you, this doesn't happen. So thank you for being here.
No, thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure. It's like, I'm not saying I really have anything to say, but I hope
Everyone
that
has
what I
something to
have,
say.
what I do have to say, it ain't gonna some people will go, I don't, but I hope that at least one person, even one fucking person, can take what I have to say, feel something out of it, and it can help their life.
You know, that's one of the struggles I have is that people always tell me that they don't have anything to say or their life doesn't matter or what no one will care. And I'm like, no, that's not true. Someone cares.
Somebody.
And your information that you have, your stories, once you're gone, they're gone too.
So that's it.
And I remember I was listening to Bob Proctor, and he said that one of his mentors said that, I think it was Leland Vanderwall, said that story is the most important thing that you ever hear. Listen to a lot of stories.
Yeah.
Because that's what keeps us going. So.
And that's why I feel, I mean, things I've done in my life, things I've went through, a lot of them, they're not good. I've done a lot of stuff that could wind me.
Good is the perspective.
Exactly. I've got things that could have wound me in jail, in prison. Things I've done, I would still be there. But by the grace of, I don't want to say God, but the universe, whoever, I feel I've got the most beautiful guardian angel watching over me that has got me through everything I've been through, because I feel what I have to say hopefully will help somebody. And it's like I give a lot of younger people advice. Whether they take it or not, I don't know. But I hope that what I've been through and what I've done and seen and everything else will help somebody else along the way.
That's all we can hope for. That's the whole premise of this thing, was to try and love each other and show that we're not that different and try and heal the world one person at a time. So.
That's it.
Well, I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Hope all of you out there have a great day. And we'll see you next time we get the film. Have a great one, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Ooh. I'm getting fat and old. All right, there you are.